Dogs love to try a bite from our plate every now and then, and we all love treating our dogs. But many human foods can make your Pomeranian very sick or be life-threatening. In this video, I am sharing 21 human foods according to the AKC and ASPCA that are toxic to dogs. Some you may recognize, whereas others may be a surprise. So let's dig in. First up on the list is real animal bones. Many people have given their dogs real animal bones as a treat, but they are actually very dangerous. Animal bones can break and splinter, as well as become lodged in your dog's throat and digestive tract. It is best to give your dog a safe dog chew or safe dog toy, and I will link a few of our favorites down below. Avocado. Many of us love avocado toast or great guacamole, but avocados are actually very toxic to dogs. They contain a toxin that may cause fluid to build up in the lungs and chest and cause difficulty breathing. The toxin is strongest in the skin and pit, but you should avoid feeding your Pomeranian any avocado. Next up on this list is a food you may not even be aware that you have in your house, and that's xylitol. Xylitol is often found in sugar-free foods and is extremely toxic to dogs, leading to drops in your dog's blood sugar that can cause long-lasting effects as well as death. You can find xylitol in toothpaste, gum, and sometimes peanut butter, which is a favorite of many Pomeranians, so please make sure to check your labels for xylitol. The next foods you are probably enjoying on a daily basis: onions and garlic. Both onions and garlic in fresh and powdered form contain a very toxic compound that can lead to damaging your dog's red blood cells and reduce their ability to move oxygen throughout the body. Next would be cinnamon and nutmeg. These next two foods are often used as ingredients, but could be dangerous if your Pomeranian happens to eat them: cinnamon and nutmeg. Pomeranians should never eat cinnamon. Although it is not as toxic as some other foods, it can irritate your dog's mouth and digestive system. Nutmeg contains a toxic compound that can cause disorientation, increased heart rate, high blood pressure, dry mouth, stomach pain, and seizures. This next ingredient might catch you by surprise. It's yeast dough. Yeast dough is extremely dangerous for your Pomeranian to eat. Yeast cells produce alcohol as they ferment, which can lead to alcohol poisoning and death if your Pomeranian consumes it. In addition to the alcohol, yeast rises. If your dog consumes yeast and it rises in your dog's stomach, it can cause bloat, pain, gas, and even the twisting of your dog's stomach, which can be fatal. Always make sure that if you are baking fresh bread in your kitchen, that it is in a safe spot away from your dog. Best used in salad dressings and cocktails. Lemons and limes are dangerous for Pomeranians. Pomeranians can't eat lemons or limes mainly due to substances found in the skin and peel that can cause minor gastrointestinal symptoms, to more severe cases even leading to death. Although they are very healthy and a sweet treat for us, grapes are extremely toxic to dogs. You should never feed your Pomeranians grapes since they contain a toxic compound that can cause rapid kidney failure and be life-threatening. Even a very small amount can be extremely dangerous. Now, raisins are a dried version of grapes and can still contain the same compounds, making raisins just as toxic to Pomeranians. If you have little kids that often share their food with your dog, I would recommend not having grapes or raisins in your home during this time. Surprisingly, macadamia nuts are one of the most poisonous foods to dogs. They can cause vomiting, increased body temperature, inability to walk, lethargy, and affect the nervous system. Make sure that you store your macadamia nuts and foods that contain macadamia nuts far away from your Pomeranian. Almonds. Next on the list is almonds. Almonds aren't toxic like macadamia nuts, but they are dangerous for your Pomeranian in other ways. Due to the shape of almonds, they can soften and get stuck in your dog's throat, causing a blockage or tearing the esophagus. In addition to throat concerns, almonds are often covered in salt, which is dangerous to most dogs and can cause water retention. Salt can also be fatal to dogs that are suffering from heart disease. Up next are common pick-me-ups that we often reach for every day: coffee, tea, and soda. Pomeranians cannot consume any food or beverage that contains caffeine. Their bodies cannot metabolize the stimulant and may lead to a variety of ailments including hyperactivity, vomiting, diarrhea, elevated heart rate, seizures, lung damage, abnormal heart rate, and death. Make sure your Pomeranian can't get into the trash if it contains any used coffee grounds or tea bags. In addition to caffeine, soda also contains lots of sugar and many other chemicals that are not good for your Pomeranian. At the end of a long workday, we may grab for a glass of wine, a cocktail, or a cold beer. Alcohol is very toxic to dogs. In most cases where a dog has consumed alcohol, it's happened due to an unintentional poisoning. Make sure you're enjoying your alcohol, or if you're having people over that are consuming alcohol, that open containers are not left in reach for your dog. Hopefully your dog will not be interested, but that is not always the case. One of our favorite treats is also one of the most well-known foods that is toxic to dogs: chocolate. The reason chocolate is so toxic is that it contains a substance called methylxanthines, which can stop a dog's metabolic process. Even just a small amount of chocolate can cause vomiting and diarrhea. Large amounts can cause irregular heart function, seizures, and even death. Dark chocolate contains the highest amount, but all chocolate contains the substance. It is best to keep all chocolate in a safe place away from your Pomeranian. If your dog does ingest chocolate, it is best to call your vet or the pet poison hotline as soon as possible, and I will link that hotline down below. Next up is foods high in sodium. I mentioned salt when we talked about almonds, but many foods contain high levels of salt, especially processed foods. Let's best to avoid giving your Pomeranian any foods that have high sodium levels or contain salt. Now you may be surprised with this one. Many of us have shared some ice cream with our Pomeranians, but did you know dogs should not eat ice cream? Some Pomeranians are allergic to milk and dairy, but even if your dog isn't, ice cream contains too much sugar for dogs. Pomeranians are small dogs, making it very dangerous if they consume even small amounts of toxic foods. Now this list was all about the human foods that Pomeranians can't eat. If you're interested in what foods your Pomeranian can eat, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and hug your Pom and have a great day. Bye!